last name? Hold up. All right, so Mr. Fry.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, hold on. And then Mr. Dagger Margosian, I do have Miss Rosenberg. I understand that you filed a waiver in one of the files, but she was set for a pretrial on another new file as well as 2 probation violation. So those, you have the 2 probation violation, I think, and then Rhonda has a pretrial on the larceny file. And then you waive the pretrial on her newest one. So I guess, do you want to deal with any of her files today, or were you not prepared?
Well, Your Honor, I thought that I was only appearing on the allegation of the meth possession. If Miss Underwood isn't handling those other cases, I could step in, but frankly, I don't know what's happening. I was just appearing on that one case.
Okay, well, Rhonda Underwood is on 1 pretrial for today. You're on the 2 probation violation files, as well as the arraignment that was set for today, but you waived it.
Okay, I didn't think
I was the arraignment.
Yeah, I didn't think I was on the violations of probation, but again, I can step in and handle those.
Okay, well, you waived the preliminary. All right, so this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Danielle Colt Rosenberg, file number 22-21005FH, 23-21343FH. Those are probation violation files. We also have file number 24-21694FH, which was set for arraignment today, which Mr. Dagger Margosian waived. And then I have a pretrial on file number 22-21003FH, which may be a VOP, I'm not sure. So you waived arraignment. Are you, and I have Michael Dagger Margosian appearing on behalf of Ms. Rosenberg, also known as T, and Mr. Sneed on behalf of the people. So obviously you're looking for a pretrial date. I'm not going to do anything on those other files until you do that. So how far out would you like a pretrial on behalf of Ms. Rosenberg?
I think probably pretty short. My understanding is that Ms. Rosenberg has been screened for drug court. She has been approved. So I think probably just getting a short adjournment so we can enter the plea on that. And then obviously the VOPs would be taken care of at the same time.
February 14th.
That's fine. Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to set all of these files over to February 14th at 8:30. Miss Adams, 3 are VOP, 1 is an arraignment waiver, so we can do the notice on all those, please.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Miss Adams. Okay. All right, very good. Miss Rosenberg, you are all set. Could you tell them that I would like to see Anthony LaFrance?
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Okay, so Mr. Fry, let me go back to you. Mr. Fry, you have Mr. Cadis, right? Cadis.
Correct.
Where'd he go? He was, oh, he's in my waiting room. Never mind. I thought he was here. I had a bunch of people here. Where's your attorney, Mr. Tyndall? Rhonda. Rhonda, okay. She usually goes next door first, so she'll be here. All right, Mr. Cadis, good morning. Grab your file. JKL. This is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Samuel Eugene Cadis, file number 2023-21648FH. I have Brian Fry appearing on behalf of Mr. Cadis, and I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people. This is the date and time set for a pretrial. Mr. Fry, how would you like to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor. So there have been discussions for a resolution with the prosecutor's office, and we're very close on that. But my client is getting screened for Veterans Court. The next Veterans Court meeting is on the 7th, I think. So if we could get it set after that. We're waiting on an answer, you know, if he's a candidate or not for that.
All right, Ms. Teskey, this is Samuel Cadis, Kadas. And a request was put in for screening for Veterans Court. You said, Mr. Fry?
Yeah, he's been talked about. There's just some issues around that to see if Veterans Court can take him or not. And,
Judge, can I see him in a breakout, please?
See who?
The defendant.
Right now? Okay.
Yep.
I didn't know if you meant after the hearing or right now.
Well, no, I'm sorry, after the hearing, but before he
Okay.
hangs up.
Okay, because, all right, so I will do that. All right, so, all right, so you said February 7th. Why don't we set this over to February 21?
that will work.
All right, so Mr. Kadis, I'm gonna set this over for pretrial on February 21 at 8:30 in the morning. Mr. Fry, you can do the stip in order to adjourn. Mr. Sneed, can he sign your name with permission?
Yes, thank you.
All right, so Mr. Kadis, I'm going to pop you in a breakout room with Sarah Teskey. Sarah Teskey is from the Michigan Department of Corrections, and she is one of the people in charge of our specialty courts. And when you get an invitation to join, go ahead and join, and when you're done, you can just disconnect, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. Kadis.
Thank you.
What else? I can't do that. All right, Mr. Dagger Margosian, Jody Morris. Hi at the jail.
Morning.
I just see an arm. I'm ready, actually, on my jail list. I have Mr. Malaro, so I can take Mr. LaFrance, Mr. Carter, and Mr. Montemeyer in any order.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Jody Lynn Morris, file number 23-21637FH. I have Michael Dagger Margosian appearing on behalf of Ms. Morris, and I have Dave McCready appearing on behalf of the people. This is the date and time. Let me get there. Hi. This is the date and time set for a pretrial. I just gotta find her on my docket. There we go. So Mr. Dagger Margosian, how would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, we had a preliminary exam on this case in district court. We have filed the request for the transcript. That order went in on December 19th, 2023. We don't have the transcript. We can't really move forward without it. I do anticipate that this case will be litigated at trial, so obviously we do need that transcript. I'm asking the court for an adjournment to get that.
We allow 90 days for transcripts. So what about April 3rd at 8:30 in the morning? It should be done by then.
Thank you.
All right. So Mr. Dagger Margosian, can you do this stip in order to adjourn?
Yes.
Your Honor, I do
And
have
Mr.
a procedural matter I'd like to address with the court.
Okay,
So she was charged with home invasion first degree and bound over on home invasion second. I can get into the reasons for that, but I plan on amending the charge back to a home invasion first degree, which I believe the court rules allow me to do. I'm assuming that Mr. Dagger Margosian is going to object to that. I'm just wondering whether you want to hash that out now, whether you want it to be.
I don't have time to
Okay.
hash that out
Okay.
today on a Wednesday morning. So, you know, I'm assuming if you do that, then Mr. Dagger Margosian is going to object and there's going to be some kind of hearing. So, but I don't have time to do that on a Wednesday. Thank you, Mr. McCready. All right, so we'll see you back on April 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. McCready, I was asking, does he have permission to sign your name?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, Miss Morris, I'll see you back on April 3rd at 8 a.m., okay, or 8:30 a.m., okay? Thank you. Thank you. All right, I have, let's see. Mr. Rasco? All right, Rhonda's your attorney, right? So good to see you out of jail. Okay, so Miss Underwood is in front of Judge Olsaver right now. So as soon as she gets done there, she'll come here, okay? You doing all right? Good. Okay, so I have, what's your name? Mr. Byers. Who's your attorney?
Murphy?
I have Mr. Murphy. Hold on. And let's see who Rowley is. Mr. Dagger Margosian, are you still with me? Okay. I
Yes,
have
ma'am.
Mr. Rowley.
Okay.
And then Mr. Murphy, I do have Mr. Byers, and we'll take him next, okay?
Yeah, Your Honor, I'll need to speak with him. Is the device out in the hallway working? Can I?
Sure. So I want you to go in the hallway and take a left, and there's like a tablet on a stand, and it has the instructions on it. So if you can go out there, try to log in. If you can't do it, come in and let me know, and I'll send somebody out. Okay? All right, Mr. Rowley, can you hear me? Oh, he's connecting the audio. Mr. Rowley, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now. Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. This is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Joshua Dexter Rowley, file number 23-21458FH. I have Christopher Fleming appearing on behalf of the people. I have Michael Dagger Margosian appearing on behalf of Mr. Rowley. This is date and time. Double check this. Looks like it's a pretrial, but let me make sure. Yep, date and time set for a pretrial conference. Mr. Dagger Margosian, how would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, can I have a breakout room with Mr. Riley briefly?
So I'm going to, Mr. Rowley, I'm going to assign you and Mr. Dagger Margosian to a breakout room. And I'm going to run and get my inhaler. I'll be right back. All right.
You need some help. All right.
She's coming out to help you, all right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. You can sit.
Hey, Judge,
Hey, Sarah.
can you give me the date that Danielle Rosenberg was adjourned to? Please.
Adjourn to February 14th at 8:30.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who do I have with me at the jail?
Sean Carter.
All right, Mr. Malaro.
Judge, can I have a quick breakout with Mr. Carter?
Yep, hold on a second. All right, Mr. Murphy, you wanted a breakout room with, okay. So Mr. Byers, there he is. All right. So Mr. Murphy, I'm gonna open up a breakout room with you and your client. Right, Mr. Murphy? Yep.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. I think I got you in the right room. Let me know if I didn't. All right, and Mr. Malaro, you wanted a breakout room with, who do I have from the jail?
Sean Carter?
Carter. All right. So, Mr. Carter, I'm going to put you in a breakout room with Mr. Malaro.
Thank you, Judge.
Yep, yep. Okay, Mr. Carter, go ahead and join that breakout room. They didn't close school today. Anybody else do?
The high school's closed?
It wasn't bad, but in some areas it was bad, so they just.
Like the back roads.
Yeah, the back roads weren't bad really, but, and we didn't have a lot of fog, but in other parts of the county they did, so.
Yeah, last night it was very warm.
It was pretty. What? Is your perfume? No, I can't smell your perfume. No, it's because I didn't use my inhaler because I got here, you know, on time and was inhaling coffee. And the dust, this room has like a lot of dust in the air. So I don't have asthma or anything, but this room, because it's so old, just has a lot of dust. And so it makes it hard to breathe sometimes. So I usually like take a couple puffs of my inhaler before I come in the courtroom. I'll let you know if it's you. I'm sure you will. All right, so, all right, Mr. Malaro. Oop, maybe. Come on, there we go. Oh, I got Miss Underwood now. All right, so Mr. Malaro, this is Mr. Carter, right?
Correct, Judge.
Okay, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Sean Raymond Carter, file number 23-21636FC. This is the date and time set for the first pretrial conference in this matter. Mr. Malaro, how would you like to proceed?
Judge, what I'd like to do is adjourn this out perhaps 3 weeks. The case is still in an investigation phase and still looking at filing certain motions. So that'd be our request.
All right, how far out would you like that?
3 weeks, I think, would be sufficient for us to make some headway.
How about February 21, 4 weeks?
That's fine, Judge.
I don't have a lot on that day, so. All right, so I'm going to set this out to February 21. at 8:30 in the morning. Obviously, Mr. Carter, if Mr. Malaro has a resolution or a plea that you'd like to make, he will get you in sooner. But we'll see you back on February 21 at 8:30, and Mr. Malaro can do the stip in order to adjourn. And Mr. Fleming, can you sign your name with permission?
He absolutely can. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you, Mr. Carter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, so Miss Underwood. I had a bunch of clients in the courtroom, but I think they all went to take a smoke break, so.
And who would they be, Your Honor?
Oh, I had Mr. Tyndall, Mr. Orozco. They left together, so I think they went to. Okay. He's not in the hall, I don't see him, but, I mean, you can if you want to check, but I think I saw him, I thought even. So. Oh. Let's see, in the jail. So, Mr. Malauer, I have all your clients coming from the jail. Ruth Hines from Mr. Glazier. Anybody covering for Mr. Glazier today?
He's in the other courtroom, Your Honor.
Oh, Mr. Tindo, you want to come up to the podium? Oh, my bailiff found them. They weren't outside. All right, Mr. Tindo, come on up to the podium. All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Cheyenne Xavier Tyndall, file number 23-21649FH. I have Rhonda Underwood appearing on behalf of Mr. Tyndall. This is the date and time set for a first pretrial. Ms. Underwood and Mr. Fleming, how would you like to proceed today?
One moment, Your Honor. If I could just have one moment to talk to my client, I'll be right up.
Oh, you're coming up? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, go have a seat and she'll come up and talk to you. Okay, Mr. Tyndall. All right, Mr. Montmeyer, hold on, let me check what's going on here. I'm gonna take Mr. Montmeyer next. Wait, no, I'm not, because do I have Mr. Malaro back? Yes, hold on. Mr. Malaro?
Yes, Judge.
All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Anthony Michael Montmeyer, file number 23-21632FC. I have Salvatore Malaro appearing on behalf of Mr. Montmeyer, and I have Dave McCready appearing on behalf of the people. I do see that we have a request for a transcript that was filed with the court on December 19th, January, February, March. So they have 90 days to complete that. So I assume, Mr. Malaro, and I could be wrong, that you're asking for an adjournment until after that time period?
Judge, your assumption is correct. I would need to get the transcript before we can proceed.
All right, how about April 3rd at 8:30 in the morning?
That's fine. Thank you, Judge.
All right, so Mr. Montmeyer, we're going to set this over. Obviously, it takes about 90 days to complete a transcript. So we're going to set this over to April 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. And Mr. Malaro, you'll do the stip in order to adjourn. Mr. McCready, can you sign your name with permission?
You can.
Yep.
All right, excellent. Thank you. You're all set, Mr. Montmeyer.
Yep, I'll be over to see you, Anthony. Okay.
All right, so Mr. Rowley?
Yes, ma'am.
And where you at? There you are. All right, in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Joshua Dexter Rowley. Mr. Dagger Margosian, have you had a chance to speak with Mr. Rowley?
Yes.
All right, hold on a second. Let me find him on my docket. All right, so Mr. Dagger Margosian, how would you like to proceed today on behalf of Mr. Rowley?
Your Honor, at this time, I'm asking the court to schedule this for a bench trial. If Mr. Fleming is in agreement with that as well, we just haven't reached a resolution here, and we had an exam downstairs, and all the rest. So I'd ask the court to schedule this for a bench trial, please.
Mr. Fleming, a bench trial?
I have no objection to that at all, Judge.
Okay. How long do you think? I mean, bench trials are pretty quick. So 1 day, 2 day?
I would think 1 day.
I think 1 day would be fine.
All right. So, Miss Adams, I need 1 day for a bench trial. He is not in custody.
Okay.
Bench trial means there's no jury. It's up to me.
So we got a Friday, March 15th or a Tuesday, April 2nd.
Friday or Tuesday, Mr. Dagger Margosian?
May we do I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the calendar here. April 2nd is better for me.
I would agree with
Mr.
that.
All right, and that would be 9 AM, Miss Adams?
Correct.
Okay. So we're gonna do April 2nd. The Tuesday. So I would like all motions to be heard by March 15, 24. Do we need a final pretrial? I mean, you guys know if you decide to plead or something, just to call and get them in, right?
Absolutely.
That's fine. I mean, I'd be fine with having a final pretrial, or if Mr. Fleming and I, I mean, we can talk outside of it as well. So either way.
I could set a final pretrial for February 28, no, April 2nd, hold on. March 20 at 8:30.
Fine, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Judge.
So you
That'll
said
be at
8:30?
8:30 in the morning. It'll be March 20 at 8:30 in the morning, and then the trial would be April 2nd at 9 AM. I filled out a scheduling order, and we will get a copy of that out to all of you. All right, thank you. And all right, you're all set, Mr. Rowley.
Thank you. You guys have a nice day.
You too. All right, Mr. Tyndall. So we are back on the record with Mr. Tyndall. Ms. Underwood is present in person. Have you had a chance to speak with him?
I have, Your Honor.
And how would you like to proceed today?
Your Honor, the offer in this case is that Mr. Tyndall would plead to a 1-year misdemeanor use, Your Honor, and the felony would be dismissed, and there is no objection to a 7411, which we believe Mr. Tyndall qualifies for.
Okay, all right.
And he wishes to accept that offer.
Okay, and that'll be a use of cocaine, right? Okay. Is that the plea offer, Mr. Fleming?
I apologize, Judge. I'm just pulling that up right now.
That would be an added count. Added count. 4.
We have the I have the offer here as plea to the use, no objection to 7411, and as charged the assault and battery in count 3, dismiss count 2.
Yes.
So, all right, so he'll be pleading to count 3 assault and battery, which is a 93-day misdemeanor. And then count 4 use of cocaine.
The count.
So I'm sorry, Ms. Underwood, that's my fault. So Mr. Fleming said the plea is actually to plead to count 3 assault and battery.
Yes.
And then count 4 use of cocaine and the 7411 would apply to the drug charge.
That's correct.
But you want another minute to talk to her? Yeah, why don't you guys go talk in the hall one more minute?
I'll try to get an amended info on that too, Judge.
Thank you. All right, so I have Mr. Byers back. Mr. Murphy, want to come up to the podium, Mr. Byers? Right, so this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Meade Byers. File number 23-21531FH. I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people and Matthew Murphy on behalf of Mr. Byers. Have you had an opportunity to speak with Mr. Byers, Mr. Murphy?
Yes, Your Honor.
And how would you like to proceed today?
Your Honor, in regards to this matter, I had talked to Mr. Byers. We have a trial scheduled on February 13th. I'm not sure if Mr. Byers' trial is the primary or not. I was expecting some more negotiation to occur with the prosecutors. I was going to ask for another pretrial to be scheduled. I had told Mr. Byers that I thought maybe we need to adjourn the trial, but I think actually if he's willing to come over to the office after this court right now, that we could actually just, if we could schedule another pretrial before that trial, I think that might be more appropriate and keep the trial on as scheduled unless Mr. Sneed objected. But I just wanted to talk to Mr.
Is there a plea offer that's been made?
I honestly don't recall, Your Honor. We had an examination.
Mr. Sneed, do you have anything in the file indicating a plea offer?
I do. It was to have the defendant plead to misdemeanor malicious destruction of property and make full restitution of $1,000.
Is it a 1-year misdemeanor?
Ms. McClure didn't specify, so maybe Mr. Murphy could hash that out with her, but full restitution in the amount of $1,442.60.
Right, Miss
I think it would
Adams.
be 90-day.
Okay. All right, so the plea offer Mr. Sneed believes might be the 90-day misdemeanor with full restitution. Miss Adams, is this our primary trial on February 13th?
No, you do have William Badger 4-day trial starting that day.
Okay, so you're not my primary trial. I'm not going to take it off, Mr. Murphy, but can you go across the street and talk to Mr. Murphy? Okay, do you understand? And I fully, as a former defense attorney, believe everybody has a right to have a trial. But do you understand if you were convicted, you would go to jail that day?
Right.
And that they're offering a misdemeanor and restitution can be paid as a term of probation. Do you understand? Okay, so do you want to come over there now, Mr. Murphy?
Yes, I want to talk to him just briefly if you could come over right now.
If at the end of my docket, he decides he wants to take a plea, that's fine. So walk over or drive over to see Mr. Murphy. Okay? All right.
Mr. Byers, did you say you had your witness with you?
No, he's not present today.
Okay, all right, thank you. Just come on over, thank you.
All right, so I'm gonna leave that open. Underwood just went back in the hall, and I have. How much room I have when you can actually stand?
I couldn't figure out how to get that up. Yeah, I know it's for like 10 minutes. So
I'm live on YouTube.
So Judge Rosenberg has his verdict. And we also have trials with him. So
we'll stagger over.
Okay.
We can stagger start times. Okay. Okay, Miss Underwood, you back with Mr. Tyndall. So how would you like to proceed with Mr. Tyndall?
Your Honor, could we have an adjournment for 2 weeks? I want to speak to the prosecutors again on this.
Yep, how about February 7th at 8:30?
Thank you.
All right, so Miss Adams, could I get a notice of hearing because Mr. Tyndall's in person? So we'll do the notice on it. And bring one for Rhonda too. So February 7th at 8:30 in the morning.
Okay.
And make sure you contact Miss Underwood before that, all right? Okay, so have a seat on the bench behind you, and then we'll get you a copy of a notice of hearing, Mr. Tyndall. All right, so.
Your Honor, as to the bond conditions in this matter, Mr. Tyndall is doing very well with the twice weekly. I believe it's twice weekly. He was wondering, it is expensive. If he could go down to perhaps once a week, Your Honor.
You go through Mr. Coast, right? I think colors is once a week, right? I can't hear them. I know. Mr. Tyndall, come stand up next to Miss Underwood. So, Mr. Tyndall, Mr. Coast is not here this week, but do you report to him?
I don't report to him, I just usually drop.
Okay, all right, so, Miss Adams, we can change the bond to say that he can test once a week per Mr. Coast's instructions. And do we have a business card for Darren Coast? I think he has some on his desk. Someone could grab me one.
Okay.
Okay, so I will do that. So have a seat, we'll get you a notice of hearing. But then Darren Coast is our pretrial services coordinator. So you're gonna have to check in with him like next Monday or Tuesday, call him on the phone number on the card, all right? And he'll monitor that, but it won't change until you talk to him, all right?
Okay.
All right, Mr. Rasco, come on up.
Hey, Your Honor, can I do a breakout with Mr. LaFrance real quick?
Yeah, Mr. LaFrance, I'm gonna open a breakout room. Hold on a second. I'm gonna close all these. Hold on one second. Hold on, we'll be with you in just a second. All right, hold on, waiting for the room to close. All right.
What up, DJ?
Hold on, no, hold on, I haven't done it yet. Give me a minute, I gotta close a bunch of rooms. Now I'm gonna open it, go ahead and join that breakout room. Okay, so, let me put this in the waiting room. This is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Joel Jesus Orozco, file number 23-21532FH, 23-21607FH. I have Rhonda Underwood appearing on behalf of Mr. Orozco, and I have Christopher Fleming appearing on behalf of the people. So, Ms. Underwood, how would you like to proceed with Mr. Orozco?
Your Honor, Mr. Orozco joins us here from Transitional Housing.
Yes, he does.
Having successfully gone through the first phase of rehabilitation, Your Honor.
Yeah.
I would like to set this matter over to February 7th to talk to the prosecutors about a appropriate resolution of this matter, given Mr. Orozco's new circumstances.
All right. So, Ms. Adams, could I get a notice of hearing from Mr. Orozco for February 7th at 8:30 in the morning? Mr. Orozco, I'm really proud of you because I know what you've done has taken a lot of hard work. You look healthy. You look good.
Thank you.
So I want you to keep it up, okay? So we'll get you a notice of hearing. Have a seat over there on that back bench. And we'll see you back on February 7th at 8:30 in the morning. All right, so. I think Ms. Underwood has all her people come in person, so we do all the notice of hearings. I think that's what she does. Do you have anything else, Ms. Underwood?
I have Mr. Lepper scheduled. Your Honor. That is MDOC.
Is he in jail? Oh, he's here. Do you need to go talk to him?
Oh, he's here?
Yes, you just came in.
Thank goodness.
In the back.
I will grab my stuff and go talk to him, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms.
like-
Adams, was Mr. Lepper brought in person for fingerprints or just for fun?
I don't know, Judge, I'm sorry.
Okay, let me look.
I think he might have been bought for both reasons, Your Honor.
Let me see, the ROA does not show that fingerprints were done in this file. So I think that's why we did the writ. So before he goes anywhere today, he's got to go get fingerprints at the jail.
They usually take them before they even bring them up.
Will you ask him?
I'll ask them.
Okay. Can I close out your Zoom window?
You can close out my.
Okay.
Your Honor.
All right. All right, so Who do I have from the jail?
Donald Rowe.
Okay, all right, hold on. And that is Mr. Murphy. Matt Murphy.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, I don't have Mr. Rose on my schedule.
He's on our docket. So it's contempt of court and a violation of probation. Oh, maybe he's Sam's now. I guess he's Sam now. All right, Mr. Rose, bear with us for a few minutes. Mr. Murphy, will you let Mr. Malaro's in a breakout room. All right, Mr. Rose, just hang out for a minute, all right?
Yeah, I'll just be here in case, I just have Mr. Byers here to talk to, so I can handle it if we need to.
All right, Mr. Malaro, I forgot he's in a breakout room. All right. So I have Ruth Hines, and that's John Glazier. Mr. Murphy, will you let Mr. Glazier know that Ruth Hines is here?
Yes, Your Honor.
I mean, he may, okay, so, Byers. France. All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Anthony Wayne LaFrance, also known as Flores. File number 20-20096 FC and 23-21622 FC. I do have Salvatore Malaro appearing on behalf of Mr. LaFrance. Let me find him on my docket. Hold on just 1 second. And this is date and time set for probation violation pretrial on 20-20096 FC and a pretrial on 23-21622 FC. And Mr. Malaro and Mr. Steen, how are we proceeding today?
Judge, I would ask, actually, I just had another thought. I would ask to set this out for maybe a bench conference in a week or so. There's the issue of the violation of probation. I know he's on HIDA. I think I need to discuss that with the prosecutor in the court and Mr. LaFrance. And then I think we could get this resolved at that point.
All right, Miss Adams, I'm looking for a date and time first available for a bench conference.
Okay. 8 a.m. February 1st.
February 1 at 8 a.m.
That'd be perfect, Judge.
All right, and Mr. Sneed, are you available?
It actually will be Miss Arnold appearing, and she is available, Judge.
Yep, okay. All right, so Mr. LaFrance, we're gonna come back for a bench conference and I'll have you zoom in as well on February 1 at 8 a.m., all right?
All right.
All right, Mr. LaFrance, could you let them know I'd like to see Mr. Ladd next?
Zach Ladd.
Yeah, Zach Ladd, thank you. All right.
Judge, may I ask a question?
Sure.
I have Johnny Ladd on my docket, but he's not on the jail list. Do you know if they shipped him off to prison?
No, he's at the jail. They didn't put him on the list, but I actually have Mr. Daly for him.
Johnny Ladd? I'm talking Johnny Ladd.
Oh, yeah. He's at the jail. You're all set, Mr. Roscoe?
Okay.
All right, good luck. Yeah, he's in the jail. They just
Okay, that's fine.
Just in it. All right.
Judge,
So
I thought that was Zach. I'm sorry. I thought that was Zachary that was in jail. No.
Is Johnny Ladd in jail?
I'll check on that.
It said MDOC, but I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So Mr. Malaro, hold on, Mr. Malaro. I have Donald Rose. All right, in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Donald Jack Rose, file number 22-20793FH. Mr. Malaro, I have you down on this file. And this is the date and time set for, hold on, I'm getting there. Maybe, where's he at? It is a contempt of court and a violation of probation. Mr. Rose is currently in Allegan County, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so do you need a moment to speak with him, Mr. Malaro?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna open up a breakout room. And I am going to put Mr. Rose and Mr. Malaro into that breakout room. Okay. Okay. Mr. Glazier, good morning.
Morning, Your Honor.
Miss Hines or Hins, can you start your video, please?
Sorry about that, ma'am.
No, you're fine. This is in the
I
matter of
just
the
got
people of the
to
state
the
of Michigan.
bathroom.
Oh, it's okay. This is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Ruth Romaine Hins, file number 23-21402FH. I have John Glazier appearing on behalf of Miss Hins, and I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people. This is the date for a pre-trial conference. So, Mr. Glazier, how would you like to proceed?
Could I have a breakout with Isaac for a second, Your Honor?
Sure, just about 2 minutes though.
All right.
He's the only one I got. There's only one Isaac Sneed, right? All right, so Mr. Glazier and Mr. Where you at? All right. Oh, whoop, I just put him in the wrong room. Hold on, Isaac, don't go. All right. There we go. Now you're all set. Thank you. Mr. Murphy,
Yes, Your Honor.
I have, hold on.
Your Honor, Mr. Byers, I didn't know if you wanted to go back on the record or not. He was going to come back into my office on Monday at 2 o'clock to speak further about everything.
Right, so how far out do you want an adjournment? My next available pre-trial on Mr. Byers would be February 21 or February 14.
Could we, since the trial is scheduled for the 13th, could we just have that? I mean, because again, do we know when?
I'm not going to take the trial off in case my other one. What day is the trial? The 13th?
Yes, could we?
How about?
I figured if he was going to take the offer, I could contact the court before then. We don't.
Can we do a pre-trial February 7?
We could do that, Your Honor.
That way that we know. So, because you never know what happens with trials, so I don't like to call them off till the day before. So we'll see back February 7th at 8:30 on matter of Mead Byers 23-21531FH. And Mr. Murphy, you can do the step in order to adjourn that pre-trial.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, excellent. Thank you. And Mr. Murphy, let's see.
I also had Aaron Lambus. Is he zooming in?
Yes. And Aaron Lambus is not here. So in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Aaron Wayne Lambus, file number 23-21370FH. I do have Matthew Murphy and let's see, who's my prosecutor? I guess it's going to have to be Chris Fleming on behalf of the people, and Matthew Murphy appearing on behalf of Mr. Lambus. Mr. Lambus is not present via Zoom nor in person. Let's see, his trial is set for the 30th. So have you had contact with him?
No, Your Honor. Since the last pretrial, the offer was changed. I wanted to discuss it with him. I thought it's one that he was going to take. I anticipated him taking it, but the number we have for him, it doesn't allow incoming calls, and I can't find another number. And he never contacted my office.
Was he present on the 17th for the pretrial?
He zoomed in, which is why I thought he was gonna zoom in. He never missed court.
All right, so I'm gonna change the trial date to a pretrial.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so the trial date scheduled January 30th at 9 AM will be changed to a pretrial date. If you get a hold of them and you want to put the trial back on, just let me know.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm not going to issue a bench warrant unless he doesn't appear for that trial date, Mr. Fleming. Is that all right?
That was my next question. Thank you, Judge.
He already has a bench warrant out of district court, I think, when I was looking at it this morning, so.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to change that to a pretrial conference. Okay, excellent. Thank you. All right,
Yeah.
Mr. Daly, I do have Zachary Ladd. He's on Zoom. So this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Zachary Lawrence Allen Ladd, file number 24-21680FH, 24-21681FH, 24-21682. Sorry, just yawned. 21682FH and 24-21683FH. I have James Daly appearing on behalf of Mr. Ladd. And I have Isaac Sneed, who's my prosecutor. I'm gonna go with Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people. Mr. Daly, this is the date and time set for arraignment on all 4 of these files. Do you waive the reading of the felony information?
I do, Your Honor.
And how would you like to proceed today?
Your Honor, there's been a proposed plea bargain offered to Mr. Ladd. I went to the jail yesterday, gave Mr. Ladd a copy of the proposed plea agreement and indicated to him what the results of that could be. I believe he is ready to take a plea at this time. Is that correct, Mr. Ladd?
I was wondering if I get a breakout real quick with Mr. Daly.
Can't hear him.
All right, so Mr. Ladd, you're really far back. And
I was wondering if I can get a breakout room with Mr. Daly.
Yep. So hold on a minute. So, Miss Underwood, would you be able to go in the back room and zoom in so Mr. Daly could use your laptop?
Yeah, I'll just go over to the jail and see him. I saw him.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't ever have anything to say when I get there, but I will talk to him in person.
All right, so Mr. Ladd, Mr. Daly is gonna come see you at the jail. So I'm gonna set this over. Do you want 1 week, Mr. Daly?
That'd be fine.
All right.
Judge.
So, yes.
I'm sorry, he has 2 other matters that are set for a pretrial February 21st as well.
Okay. And we do have 2 other files set for pretrial on February 21st.
That'd be fine.
But do you want me to set these all over like 2 weeks?
Why don't we set them all for the 21st, and
All
if
right.
I can get it, I'm trying to get a resolution to resolve everything.
Okay, so what I'll do is enter a plea of not guilty, Mr. Ladd, and I'm gonna set this over for a pretrial in a couple weeks on February 21. Don't talk over me and watch your language. And I'm gonna set it for, I'm sorry, Mr. Ladd, come sit down.
I mean, because this dude ain't done shit for me this whole time.
No, you listen to me. You don't get to run your mouth and use curse words when you're in court. Because I can change all your bonds to a PR and give you a 93-day contempt. So don't. So Mr. Daly feels it would be better to come speak with you in person. So he's gonna come see you in person, and I'm gonna set all your files together for February 21 in a couple weeks. And we will see you back on that day at 8:30. Thank you. You're all set. You can go. All right, so February 21 at 8:30.
Judge, was that Johnny Ladd or Zachary Ladd?
That was Zachary Ladd.
Zachary
Okay.
Ladd.
Judge Johnny Ladd is an MDOC. That's what the jail told me.
Yeah, and I do not have him. Is Johnny Ladd here from the prison? All right, are you ready for your MDOC guy? You have anybody else with me, Mr. Daly?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Daly.
Thank you, Judge.
Bye.
Bring that.
Yeah. All right, so I have, let's see, I got Miss Hins. So let me grab her file. I might have put back here. All right, we're back on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Ruth Romaine Hins. Mr. Glazier, have you had an opportunity to speak with Ms. Hins?
I haven't, Your Honor, but I talked to her yesterday, so I don't need to talk with her again today.
Okay, very good. Mr. Glazier, how would you like to proceed on behalf of Ms. Hins?
Your Honor, I just received a few days ago an offer on this case from Mr. Sneed, and I need to talk it over with my client in person. I don't feel comfortable just talking to her over the phone or over Zoom. So I'd ask to put this out a while to allow her to come down and meet with me here in person in my office.
All right, February 28th at 8:30 in the morning.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
So Ms. Hins, today I need you to call and schedule an appointment with Mr. Glazier's assistant. And then I need you to go in and meet with him before we go to court that day, okay?
I will try my darndest, ma'am. My one uncle is actually sharing his car between two households, so I have to get a hold of them to figure out dates and times that are good and then send it over to Mr. Schleninsky, I think is his last name, to get that set up, ma'am.
Mr. Glazier may be able to accommodate via Zoom in his office, so call and see what you can set up.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
I really don't want to do it by Zoom, Your Honor. I'd rather have her here in person.
Right, I understand, but that gives you about 3 weeks to try to get a day to get a ride, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, right, very good. We'll see you back on February 28th at 8:30 in the morning, okay?
All right.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. You have a wonderful day, all of you.
Thank you.
All
Your
right,
Honor.
thank you.
That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Mr. Rose and Mr. Glazier. Or who did we decide had Mr. Rose? Mr. Malaro. So in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Donald Jack Rose, Mr. Malaro, how would you like to proceed on behalf of Mr. Rose?
Judge, so what we'd like to do, Mr. Rose is amenable to admitting the violation of failing to drug test and also the destruction of police property, the shop retail fraud and intimidating Walmart, I think it was Walmart employees, he's not willing to admit to. And then we'd like to address the contempt charge.
You kind of going in and out, Mr. Malaro, so bear with me for just a moment. So Mr. Rose, the allegations, Mr. Rose was kind enough to actually send paperwork to take care of this. So we do appreciate that. So we have contempt of court for failure to appear for violation of probation hearing on September 8th, but he might have been in custody, I'm not sure. And then the violation of probation is retail fraud in Plainwell, Michigan, behaving in an assaultive, threatening, intimidating way towards Walmart patrons, and refusing to submit a drug test. So is he pleading to all three of those?
Your Honor, he's willing to admit to the failure to drug test. I think there's also an allegation of MDOP or destruction of police property.
Oh, wait, there might be another one.
He's willing to admit to that.
No, I have an April of 23 failure to notify of his address, but I don't know. I think we might have, I just have, let me see here. Let me see. Miss Teskey, this is Mr. Stevenson's file. So it looks like, hold on. He pled guilty already to the violation or, let's see. Looks like he pled guilty for failure to appear. And I don't, we got retail fraud.
If I may, the July 19th, Mr. Stevenson's allegations says that committed a criminal act involving destruction of property on or about July 13th, 2023. That involved.
All right, hold on a second. Hold on 1 second, Mr. Malone. Let me sit down for a minute and see if I can go through this file. Hold on. was all the files, so, all right. Hold on. Okay. All right. All right, so. Failed to appear for probation violation hearing. And then I have pretrial release order. Incarcerated, so the failure to appear doesn't count. That would get dismissed because he was incarcerated. And release order. All right, so it's another one. All right, so refused to submit to a substance test and engaged in assaultive, threatening, or intimidating behavior against Deputy Anthony Esposito involving, and then another destruction of property. So, all right, I found it. So, Mr. Malaro, does he have any pending charges on any of these?
Judge, the retail fraud, he informed me was dismissed. I don't know what's going on with Deputy Esposito, but he is in the Ellicott County Jail. He's going to be sentenced on those matters, he says, on Monday.
On the one he pled to on the Esposito file?
Yeah, I don't know the details of what he's in the Ellicott County Jail for.
So, Mr. Rose, let me ask you a question. We have a bunch of stuff. So I found it. There is a violation of probation that you engaged in assaultive, threatening, or intimidating behavior against Deputy Anthony Esposito, and then committed a criminal act involving destruction of property on or about July 13th of 23. Have you been charged for those offenses?
I have not been. I didn't get charged with anything for Officer Anthony Esposito, but I did take a plea, the malicious destruction of police property. That's what I'm being sentenced for on Monday.
Okay, and so is it your understanding you're not being charged with anything involving specifically Deputy Esposito?
Yeah, I had a conversation with Officer Esposito, and I don't believe that I'm being charged with any.
Okay. And then on the retail fraud at Walmart and that behavior, you've been charged with that too?
No, the retail fraud and that stuff got dismissed.
Okay, all right. So, Mr. Malaro, perfect. All right, so Mr. Rose, you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down, state your full name for the record, please.
Donald Jack Rose.
All right, so Mr. Rose, you received all the paperwork and all these pending charges, have you not?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and do you understand that there is, and I'm going to go through them again, on, let's see, July 19th of 2023, Mr. Stevenson filed a request and warrant for probation violation alleging that you violated your articles of probation dated 12/29 of 22, and that you refused to submit to a substance test on or about July 13th of 23, that you engaged in assaultive, threatening, or intimidating behavior against Anthony Esposito and committed a criminal act involving destruction of property on or about July 13th of 23. And then on July 13th of 23, Mr. Stevenson submitted another request and warrant for probation violation, which alleges that you violated the articles of your probation by committing the act of retail fraud on or about July 12th of 23 at Walmart in Plainwell, Michigan, that you engaged in assaultive, threatening, or intimidating behavior towards Walmart patrons on or about that date, and that you refused to submit to a drug test on or about July 13th of 2023. So do you understand those are the charges against you? We're not getting good audio on you. I'm so sorry, Mr. Rose. It's not your fault, but do you understand those are all the charges?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you are currently on probation for MDOP 1,000 to 20,000, which you understand carries a maximum penalty of up to 5 years in prison. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, there also is contempt of court for failure to appear, but I'm going to dismiss the contempt of court because you were in custody at the time. All right.
Yes.
All right. Now, you would ask for court-appointed counsel. We appointed Mr. Malaro to represent you. Are you satisfied with Mr. Malaro as your attorney and the advice that he's given you?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that you do have a right to contest these violation of probation charges and to have a trial on them. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that throughout that trial, you would be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond proven guilty by a preponderance of the evidence? Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a right to have all the witnesses against you appear at your trial, to have your lawyer ask those witnesses questions, or you may ask them yourself, and to have me order any witnesses you might have to appear at the trial. Do you understand all of that?
Yes, ma'am.
On the other hand, do you understand that you have a right to testify at your trial if you want to testify?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so on the July 19th of 23 violation, how do you plead to the charge that you violated the terms of your probation by refusing to submit to a substance abuse or substance test on or about July 13 of 23, and that you engaged in assaultive, threatening, or intimidating behavior against Deputy Anthony Esposito and committed a criminal act involving destruction of property on or about July 13 of 23? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Right? And then how do you wish to plead to the charge on the July 14 of 23 summons or request a warrant for probation violation, that you violated the terms of your probation by committing the act of retail fraud on or about July 12 of 23 at Walmart in Plainville, Michigan, and that you engaged in assaultive, threatening, or intimidating behavior towards Walmart patrons on or about July 12th of 23, and that you refused to submit to a drug test on or about July 13th of 23. Guilty or not guilty?
Judge, he would be admitting the failure to drug test, but not the retail fraud or the intimidation.
Oh, that got dismissed. Okay, so it would just be pleading to refusing to submit to a drug test. So guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Okay, fix this. All right, and do you understand by pleading guilty, you'll be giving up your right to a trial, as I've already explained to you? Can you say that again for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Has anyone promised you anything to get you to plead guilty?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone threatened you in any way to get you to plead guilty?
No, ma'am.
If I accept this plea, you will be giving up any and all claims that your plea is given as a result of promises or threats that were not disclosed to the court on the record during this hearing, or that it was not your own choice to enter the plea. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it your own choice to plead guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so Mr. Rose, you were placed on probation and you signed your articles of probation that were dated December 29th of 22. One of the articles was that you were to submit to substance abuse testing at the request of the probation department. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And on July 13th of 2023, did you submit to a test?
Oh, ma'am.
Okay, and you knew that you were required to?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then Mr. Malaro, he is pleading to the intimidating behavior against the deputy and the MDOP?
Yes.
Okay, so on July 13th of 23, were you in the presence of a deputy, Anthony Esposito?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and was it his car that you did some damage to?
I was just arguing back and forth with them and being like yelling at them and stuff. The MDOP was for a police vehicle in Allegan County.
Okay, all right. So you came in contact with Deputy Anthony Esposito and you were yelling at him and behaving in a threatening manner towards him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then at some point you got put in a police car, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how did you damage that police car?
I kicked the door in the police car.
Okay,
Broke.
all right. Okay, now on, okay, it looks like it's the same drug test on both violations, probation. So I think they just amended the probation violation, Ms. Teskey. So.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm just gonna accept it on that one. All right, accept the pleas. They've been given understandably, voluntarily, and accurately. The defendant has full knowledge of his rights and he does have competent counsel. So Ms. Adams, the probation violation request from July 19th was amended from the July 14 one. So I'm accepting the plea on the July 19th one and dismissing the July 14th summons and complaint, okay? All right, so I'm going to refer this matter to the probation department for a pre-sentence investigation. So are you in Allegan County waiting sentencing on the MDOP?
Yes, ma'am. I get sentenced on Monday.
Monday? Okay. All right, so Miss Adams, let me see. Mr. Millar, are you available February 2nd?
That next Friday? I think it's next Friday.
Yeah, all right. So, Mr. Rose, I'm gonna set this over to February 2nd for sentencing.
Yeah, yes, I'm available, Judge.
Okay, and I'll set it for sentencing at 8 a.m. And Ms. Teskey, I know he's in Allegan County. Does Mr. Stevenson wanna Zoom with him right now?
I'll ask him real quick, Your Honor.
And the only reason I say that, Mr. Rose, is all the jails are so busy and I've got you kind of a captive audience. So I might see if Mr. Stevenson will talk to you now. Okay?
Yes.
So we'll set sentencing for next Friday at 8 a.m. And Mr. Rose, you have the right to be present in person or you can appear via Zoom. What would you like?
Via Zoom.
Okay. All right.
He's
Teskey.
Mr.
I'll be in
Stevenson's
Park
joining on this Zoom so that he can have a breakout room with him.
Okay, what were you gonna say, Mr. Rose?
I was just saying, I will be incarcerated next Friday, so.
Yep, still at Allegan, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Miss Adams, you've emailed back and forth with them. We'll be able to get them.
Yep, I will give it a try, Judge.
Okay. All right, so we do have Joel Thompson we contact, so we'll set that up. So Mr. Rose, thank you, Mr. Millar. Mr. Rose, just bear with us a moment. Mr. Stevenson's gonna log in and then I'll put you in a breakout room with them. He'll prepare the report, be truthful about what's going on. We'll get that report to Mr. Millar. Mr. Millar will try, but he probably won't be able to Zoom with you in advance. So if he's not able to, we will give him an opportunity to speak with you that morning, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Millar. And all right, so Miss Underwood.
Thank you, Judge.
So
Thank
just
you,
bear
Donna.
with us, Mr. Rose.
Thank you.
Yep. Where's, yeah. Mr. Millar, you saw LaFrance, you saw Carter, you saw Montemeyer, we saw Ladd, and we saw Rosenberg. So I think I'm done with the jail window. All right, and do you have another case with Mr. Hartung down the hall, Mr. Millar?
I have a couple, but I have Johnny Ladd. Did you say he wasn't written out from prison?
Yes,
I
so
don't.
in the matter of the people of the
I
state
don't
of
have it.
Michigan versus Johnny Allen Ladd, file number 23-21539 FH and 23-21540 FH. Mr. Ladd, from my understanding, is in the Michigan Department of Corrections, and he is not present. Miss Adams, or Mr. Sneed can probably check. Did we have a writ?
I don't believe so. I'm wondering whether he was still in the Lenawee County Jail at the time of the
I think he
last
was. I
retrial,
think he
so.
was in the Lenawee County Jail and went to prison. So, Mr. Malaro, do you want me to set this out like 3 weeks so we can do another writ?
Sure, that whatever the court desires, I don't think it makes a difference.
Okay, so I'm gonna set Johnny Ladd out to February 14 of 23 at 8:30 in the morning. And Mr. Malaro, you can do the stip in order to adjourn. And Mr. Sneed, can you sign your name with permission?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, good. All right. So, Mr. Malaro, I think that, do you have anything else?
I don't, it doesn't say I do, Judge, but if I do, just call and I'll come right back.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Malaro.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, you're Mr. Lepper, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Stephen Joseph Lepper, file number 23-21466FH. I have Rhonda Underwood appearing on behalf of Mr. Lepper, and I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people. Let's pause for a minute. I got Mr. Stevenson. So I'm going to Mr. Stevenson. All right. So, Mr. Rose, you are going to get an invitation to join a breakout room again. And I'm going to assign you and Michael Stevenson as soon as I find you. And once you're done talking to Mr. Stevenson, you can just leave. You're done. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Stevenson. Mike Stevenson.
You're muted.
It's gone now anyway. All right. So, Ms. Underwood, how would you like to proceed with Mr. Lepper?
Your Honor, Mr. Lepper is charged with prisoner possession contraband, namely
THC wax, right?
Yes. The offer on this matter is an attempt, which would be an age grid, and I believe he was guideline between 2 to 17 and 5 to 17 on this matter. I've explained all that to Mr. Lepper. Mr. Lepper wishes to have this matter set for trial.
Okay, all right. And where are you currently at?
Adrian Correctional
You're
Facility.
at Gus Harrison?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Miss, and this will be a one-day trial?
And I believe in this matter, the court would couch to the low end of the guidelines. Am I correct?
Yeah, I usually always do on these cases.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. So, Mr. Lepper, do you understand the plea offer?
Yes, I do.
Okay, do you have any questions about that plea offer?
I don't have questions about the plea offer, but I would like to put on the record that I don't think me and her have the same interests at liking.
So can I put you behind the microphone, Ms. Underwood? Can you scooch? Only because the audio in my courtroom is not always the best. Okay, so go ahead, Mr. Lepper, say it again.
We've had multiple conversations. We don't agree on nothing. I haven't got no paperwork. I don't get no conversations with her outside of when I come 5 minutes before court. I don't understand how I'm supposed to proceed and trust that she has my best interest at mind. And I brought this up before.
Okay, so Mr. Lepper, a couple things. Back in the day when I was a public defender, it was a contract through the judges, which at the end of the day is not a good thing because you're supposed to be an independent agency. So we have the Lenawee County Public Defender's Office, which is an independent agency from the courts. And we appoint counsel and you receive your appointed counsel. If you don't like counsel, you have one of two options. You can retain counsel or you can go without counsel. The second thing I will say is that oftentimes attorney's advice may not be what you want to hear, but they're giving you what they believe the best advice is. And if you decide to go to trial, she will go to trial as she has done many, many times, and she always does a good job. okay? But her job is to advise you of what she thinks is in your best interest, and that may not be what you think is in your best interest.
And I understand that.
Yep, so if you go to trial, she will prepare for trial with you. When the pandemic happened, it just became more and more difficult to meet with inmates, especially with the Michigan Department of Corrections, but it's getting better now. Ms. Underwood has before, if she's not able to get in to meet with them, she'll set an in-person conference at the courthouse where I give you time to meet and back here, okay? So we will always make those accommodations for you, okay?
It's hard for me to understand because last time I went to trial was 10 years, almost 10 years ago. So this is a whole different process, and I don't understand it, and it's
still the same process.
I've always had attorneys come contact me, let me know.
That was prior to the pandemic.
I understand that. And even if it was just a Zoom, it would be fine.
Okay.
I've been telling her since day one, I want to go to trial, and she just keeps trying to push the cops agreement. I'm pleading my innocence.
Well, and that's fine, but I think, you know, as I said, sometimes attorneys will say, this is what I think is best for you. And at the end of the day, it's up to you. So,
Your Honor, I will say that I've sent Mr. Lepper 2 complete copies of all his paperwork at his request.
Have you
I
received
haven't
them?
just sent one, I've sent
I think I
2.
received one.
Okay. So, and what is it that you haven't received that you want?
I mean, all I got was a police report. I didn't get nothing else as far as that goes.
Is there a lab result or anything?
I think I got the lab result too.
Okay, that's
A lot of
pretty
times,
much,
that's all we have.
that's all you have. I mean, that's the evidence, is a police report and a lab test, and then people will come in and testify, like probably the lab tech will come in and testify, and the correction officers will testify. I mean, that's it. You know, there's not a whole lot. So, but Mr. Lepper, as I said, if Miss Underwood has issues getting in to meet with you, which it has all changed since the pandemic, I will schedule a conference here in person and have you brought over, okay? All right, so Miss Underwood, I think this would be a one-day trial?
Yep.
All right, so Miss Adams, and when is your, do you have an out date right now?
Yes.
When is your out date?
I want to say March 30th, 2030.
Of 2030?
Yes.
Okay, so Miss Adams, I need a trial date, a one day, not in a big rush, so it could probably be in a couple months.
That's fine.
A lot of trials like February, March, so we might be in April or May.
Could you Thursday, April 25th? You do have
April 25?
Yep, you do have drug
April.
court and an evidentiary. However, your first opening without anything is April 30th.
What day? April 30?
Yes.
April 30. Are you available April 30?
That's fine.
Okay, so I'm gonna set a trial date for April 30 of 24. My trials start at 9 a.m. Okay, and then do you want me to set an off day pre-trial on another day, or are we good?
I think we're good.
Okay, all right, so, and this will be a jury trial, so if jury trial is April 30th, I am going to set a deadline for all motions to be April 12 of 24. And I'm going to require that voir dire questions and jury instructions be exchanged and agreed upon between the parties by April 12 of 24. And do you want a final pretrial or are we good?
No, we should have a final pre-trial.
Okay, so I will set a final pretrial for April 17 at 8:30 in the morning. And did you get fingerprinted today?
No, I got fingerprinted the last 2 times.
Every time you come, we fingerprint you? All right. Did you get them done at the sheriff's department or did the state
Yeah,
police?
I went to the sheriff's department.
With Jake. As we show, Becky, I show in the file, we don't have prints. I'm sorry for that. We're having real issues getting fingerprints right now. Because I can't let you leave without those. Sergeant, what's he know?
Like.
Piper?
Yes,
Your call has been forwarded.
Well, he didn't answer, so I'll put a note in here. We'll email Jake Piper today, Captain Piper, to see if he can get the fingerprints for us. So final pretrial will be April 17th of 24 at 8:30. Miss Adams, could you come get a copy of this for Mr. Lepper? And trial date will be one day, April 30th of 24 at 9 a.m. And all motion deadlines, voir dire questions, and jury instructions are due by April 12th. And I'm gonna get you a copy of this before you leave. And do you want to take that to Ms. Adams? Oh, there she comes. Could I get a copy from Mr. Lepper? So just have a seat for 1 minute. We'll get you that copy. You're all set, okay? Miss Underwood, I have an arraignment today on a Mick James Phelps. So let me see here. Originally, we're set for arraignment, nope, today. So in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Mick James Phelps, file number 24-21692FH. I have Rhonda Underwood appearing on behalf of Mr. Phelps. And I have Christopher Fleming appearing on behalf of the people. Miss Underwood, Mr. Phelps has failed to appear.
Your Honor, Mr. Phelps has made all their court appearances. I would suspect that a waiver was supposed to be filed.
Okay.
And if I could have this put over a week and just, thank you.
Okay, and then I'll put it over a week, and obviously if there's a waiver, we'll take that date off and set it for pretrial.
Thank you.
All right, so I'll set this over to January 17 at 8:15 in the morning. If you file the waiver, that'll take care of it. So Ms. Underwood, I don't see Mr. Murphy back on buyers.
Judge, I believe you said
And-
January 17th.
I'm sorry.
I think you just said January 17th.
About January 31st. I saw 17 pretrials. That's what I saw. So January 31st at 8:15 in the morning. And let's check Ms. Underwood before I allow you to leave. I think that concludes our docket.
What about Ms. Rosenberg?
We already took care of Ms. Rosenberg because she has a bunch of different attorneys. So Ms. Rosenberg was set over to February 14th at 8:30 because Michael Dagger-Margosian waived arraignment on her new charge today.
Okay.
So everything got set over to February 14th. All right, so that concludes our
Thank you.
criminal docket.